In our first lesson, we're going to look at how we can block out the main body of our pouch. Here, I've prepared the collision mesh. Nothing special shape-wise, just a simple rectangle with rounded corners. The proportions of the rectangle are similar to the dimensions of the pouch. The size of the collision mesh, however, is double the size of the pouch. And this is because Marvelous Designer doesn't work well with small meshes. Export it as an OBJ and let's bring it to Marvelous Designer. Go File, Import OBJ. Choose these settings and press OK. Let's start with the front piece. Choose the rectangle tool and left-click on the canvas. I'm going to use the dimensions we have on our reference. 19 here and 24 for the height. Don't worry about the overall scale for now. We'll address that in a bit. Let's change the color so that it's easier to see. All right, let's add the side piece. 10 for the width and 24 for the height. Okay. Position it to the side, closer to your avatar. The gizmo I'm using here is the world coordinate gizmo. You can change it in the Preferences, Gizmo, World Coordinate. Let's copy the side pattern. Just Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V. Position it to the other side. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Now we need a bottom piece here. It needs to be 19 by 10. And now let's copy the front piece to the back. All right, now I'm going to select all the patterns and scale them up to match the size of the avatar. Maybe a bit less. That should work. Next, we're going to sew the pieces together. Let's start here. We need to connect this side to this side. Select the segment sewing tool and click on the edge of the pattern. You can also connect the patterns in the 3D window. Make sure the connecting lines are straight. We have to fix this sewing here. Select the Edit Sewing tool, right-click on the seam, the one that is reversed, and choose Reverse Sewing. Now let's hit Simulate and see what we've got. As you can see, the garment is being pushed down by the gravity and it's quite difficult to see what's going on. What we're going to do is we're going to undo that and go ahead and turn off the gravity. Right-click on the canvas and choose Simulate Properties. Set the gravity value to 0 and let's simulate again. There we go. Now we can assess the results easier. I'm going to select the whole thing and move it up just a bit. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce some bending on those seams. The type of bending that you can see here. Select your seam. I'll start with this one and change the bending angle to something larger than 180. I'll start with 240. That might be way too subtle. Increase the strength. We can see the bending from the top view here. Let's add this effect to all the seams. All right. I'm going to go ahead and increase the bending angle all the way to 360. That's closer to our reference, but we need to add some more resolution. Select all the patterns and decrease the particle distance here. The lower the particle distance, the higher is the geometry resolution. All right, I'm going to change the fabric preset to something a bit more rigid. I'm trying to avoid too much fabric compression, so I'll go with a leather cowhide preset for now. All right, now as you can see, the seams look good, but all the corners stick out. That's not what we want. What we want is, we want to tuck these corners in, just like in our reference. Unfortunately, there's no setting that could fix that automatically. So we're going to force these corners in by using a few pins. Hold down the W key and click on the corner. Press the space bar to start the simulation. Try to grab the pin and move it towards the avatar. Just like that. Adjust the rest of the corners and make sure to check the results from multiple angles. All right. Now, I think our garment is a bit too tight on the avatar. So I'm going to select the whole thing and slightly scale the patterns up. Okay, that's much better. The construction of our base is ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to adjust the fitting and introduce some fabric compression to try and get some of these nice wrinkles that we can see on our reference. Start the simulation, grab the garment and drag it down. Pause the simulation, and now add pins in areas you want to keep the wrinkles. It looks like this corner pin is inside the avatar and might cause artifacts down the line. Let's adjust that. If it's difficult to find your pin, you can hide the avatar like so. Hold down the W key and click on your pin. Bring back our avatar, simulate and adjust the corner a bit. I'm gonna tweak it some more. It feels like the whole thing got slipped down a bit. I'm gonna pause the simulation, select all the patterns here and move them up. Okay. To prevent the garment from slipping down, we can also go ahead and freeze this bottom piece here. All right. Tweak the model till you're happy with the results, and in our next lesson, we're going to look at how we can build the top part of our pouch.